always like to end these preview shows by asking, like, as a Liverpool fan, what worries you the most about Real Madrid? And also, if you're a Real Madrid fan, what should worry us the most about Liverpool?
So I think what would worry me most as a Real Madrid fan is I think Liverpool just play at such a faster pace than Real Madrid play on a week-to-week basis. Um, you can look up sort of the number of possessions that a team has in a game, and you're going to have the same number of possessions every game as the opponent you're playing, but overall your possession number kind of tells kind of a story of what kind of game you like to play, whether it's a settled sort of slow paced game or a high paced game. And a big team like Liverpool, Real Madrid are just never going to have a super high number just because like they dominate possession. So that kind of deflates it. But Madrid are 94th among all teams in Europe in number of possessions per game with 85. And Liverpool are 27th, which is about as high as you can go for a team of Liverpool's quality with 98. So Liverpool games have 14 extra possessions. So Liverpool are just used to
they're like
playing
the Nash Sons of football.
Exactly. But they have that, and they also dominate possession, so that they're just constantly turning the ball over in the attacking third. So I think that's what would worry me most as a Real Madrid fan, beyond just all of the good players that Liverpool have. The thing that worries me as a Liverpool fan, I would say it's twofold, and they're kind of connected. There are at times this season where Liverpool dominate possession, push the ball into the box, and then they just can't generate the kind of quality attempts that they've generated in years past. So it ends up being either a bunch of shots from the top of the box, or like Salah getting on the ball on the edge of the 6-yard box and like constantly not getting shots off because like the defense is sort of positioned against it. And I think, like you said, Real Madrid, especially if they play three in the back, you could see a performance like that where Liverpool have a lot of the ball in the penalty area, but Madrid just aren't really giving up big chances. And so I think when you have a game like that and a setup like that, it then leaves a ton of space at the other end of the field for Benzema. Benzema against Phillips and Kabak just scares the shit out of me as a Liverpool fan. And then I think, I don't know if will Vinicius start, do you think?
I don't know. It's that last, because we have guarantees Casemiro, Modric, Kroos, and Benzema. That's 4, and that remains. There's 2 positions open essentially. There's like a winger. If Zidane goes with 2 wingers, there's 2 wingers, or he might go with a 4 central midfielder, which is something he's often done. So those 2 spots could go to Vinicius, Asensio, who's played well last game, with fringe contenders Rodrigo, Isco, and Fede Valverde is another option too. So
and Hazard,
who is obviously back now at this weird time. So it's a guessing game. No one can really guess that stuff. But what Zidane likes to do often is go with actually 2 up front. So Benzema plus a pacey winger to kind of go at a high line. You know what I mean, in transition.
Yeah. So that the kind of picturing in my head now, I'm seeing Benzema getting like a long ball played to him, a layoff, Vinicius running in behind sort of from the left. That's the sort of pattern that would scare me most as a Liverpool fan, that on the attacking end. And then when Madrid's defending, them just kind of giving up the ball and even territory, but just not really giving up good shots.
Yeah, I think it can play out like that. And also Real Madrid just kind of look better in big games for those reasons. So I wonder if the pace that Liverpool play at actually is in a weird way beneficial to us, because all of our good games this season have come like against those teams like Barca or Atalanta, teams like that we can, there's like, oh my God, space. Like we just don't know what space is in La Liga because no one gives us space,
I'm thinking of all the space Vinicius both had or created for himself against Atalanta.
It's okay. Don't worry. He doesn't score. He just does everything else. He'll be fine.
Well, that's like, as a fan of an opposing team, I see that and I'm not comforted. I'm not like, oh, he's just going to dribble through our whole team and then not score. Like to me, it's like he's going to dribble through our whole team and then score, because that's what's going to happen.
Because you guys will be the exception.
Yeah, exactly.
Part of me is I'm actually a little bit happy you guys had that great game yesterday against Arsenal, because maybe it keeps us on our toes a little bit, because I feel like there's a danger to Liverpool in that the league is done and dusted. Like I think, is it correct to say, I saw this somewhere, I don't know if it's true, that before the game yesterday, mathematically, it was official Liverpool could not defend their title because they were too far behind Manchester City. Yeah. So
Yes.
I was like, and they have the whole thing where they need to catch up, get to the Champions League spot. And it's possible that they may not get to it if they don't win the Champions League. That kind of makes me worried about like where their head is at. Like, okay, we're locked in. We got to get this. It kind of gives you actually Real Madrid vibes in previous years where they just suck in the league. And then they're like, okay, well, I guess we have to win this tournament, because there was that year, like I remember in 2000 growing up, where we came fifth in La Liga and won the Champions League, and we were so desperate to win it because we had to. And it's like, so well, I wonder if that makes Liverpool dangerous.
Yeah, it's funny to hear you say that, because I did start thinking of Liverpool when you were talking of kind of Real Madrid and big games and stuff like that, because, you know, in a way, Liverpool are sort of the Real Madrid of England in a way, right? Yeah. Like they don't have the most league titles, but they have the most Champions League titles. And they too won the Champions League in 2005 when they finished in fifth.
That's right.
So, and you know, like we should say, like Liverpool completely dominated Leipzig, who are, you know, are a very good team. So, you know, I think that's what kind of makes this game especially fun. It's sort of, you know, I think Real could definitely still win La Liga. It's not out of the question. But for both teams, it's very much like this is their season, it seems like. So it should be fun.
So having said all that, would you say 50-50 is about right for our chances for both teams?
I would say I always hesitate to say that a single player has a real effect on the likelihood of the outcome of a match. I think it was 50-50, and then Ramos got injured. And I think, you know, I think Real Madrid are reliant on Ramos in a number of ways. I think that most teams aren't on their center backs. So I'd put it at like 53 Liverpool, 47 Madrid, with Ramos being hurt.
Okay. I think that those are reasonable margins. And my